Let's see the first chapter, that is an introduction to the computer. And in this particular chapter, these are the important topics. Okay. So the first pointer for this chapter is that this word computer is derived from the Latin word. Okay. Which word? Computer. And this Latin word computere means to calculate. Okay. So it is derived from the Latin word computere, which means to calculate. A very simple pointer. Afterwards, computer is called Sangnak in Hindi. Okay, you should remember the word Sangnak. It is known as Sangnak in Hindi, which means to calculate. Okay, and the next pointer is that it has no official full form, but sometime in education institution it is written as commonly operated machine primarily used for technical and educational research. Okay, C stand for commonly, O stand for operated, M stand for machine, P stand for primarily, U stand for used for technological and educational research. R stands for research. So COMPUTER. Okay, but remember this is not an official full form, but it is commonly taught in the educational institution like this is a full form, but there is no official full form. Okay, so the first is you need to remember it is derived from the Latin word and it is known as Sangnak in Hindi, and it has no official full form, but you should remember the full form if they ask. It is commonly operated machine primarily used for technological and educational research. Okay. Coming to the definition, which is commonly asked in the exam, and definition, as all of you know, that it is basically one device that accepts the input, okay, that we are going to see in details afterward, and after taking input it will process it. Okay, how it will process it? According to the set of instruction. Okay, and once it processes it, it is going to generate some result that we known as output, and during this process this computer need to store the data, so it stores the data also. Okay, a very simple definition. I repeat once again, computer is one device which accept the input, it will process it, it will store it and produce the output. Okay, so there are many examples of computer you can think of which does the same thing. If you take thermometer, okay, thermometer is also a computer. How it is a computer? Because it accept the input. How it is accepting the input? By the heat. Okay, with the heat it act as an input. Okay, after heat your mercury expands and afterwards it is going to output how much temperature you have. So it is some sort of computer. Okay, it is nowhere I'm telling you that like laptop or smartphone, those are only the computers. There are many computers which we classify, okay, that we are going to see in some other class, but as of now you just remember computer is one that accept input, process it, produce the output and stores the data. Coming to the next example, calculator. Okay, everybody use calculator. I'm not talking about the calculator which is in your PC right now. I'm talking about the calculator which is basically a separate device which has buttons in it. Okay, so if you press a button, it acts as an input. Like if you press 10 acts as input and you are doing some operation, say 10 plus 20, so that acts as an input, and inside that it is going to produce the output after adding these two number 30, and it is going to store the data into the calculator more specifically, and it is going to produce the output on the screen as 30. Okay, and now the modern computer, if you talk, like desktop, laptop, and even mobile is your computer. Okay, and all such things are taken into classification of computer that I'm going to discuss in some other class. Okay, the other pointer is that if you talk about a digital computer, okay, it is a computer which is basically an electronic device. So whenever you see this word electronics, okay, remember it has some semiconductor material, mostly silicon. Okay, and we are going to see again in the next class like what is it, how it is made. Okay, I'm not going into detail as of now. Okay, just remember a digital computer is an electronic device, and whenever you see a word electronic, it means it has semiconductor material like silicon. Okay, and you should remember the functional unit of a computer. I am again telling you, this is a basic definition of computer. A computer can be anything, any device which has these parts. Okay, like it has input unit, it has some sort of CPU, central processing unit, some sort of storage unit, and some sort of output unit. Okay, so these are the functional unit of a computer. The next one is the history of computer, and the history begins after the independence, after the Republic Day, that is in year 1953. And in 1953, the first analog computer in India was made. Okay, so who has done this? It is designed by person, just remember this name, it is very important, Samrendra Kumar Mitra. Okay, Samrendra Kumar Mitra is one of the mathematician, okay, who was working in Indian Statistical Institute, okay, that is in Calcutta. At that time, Calcutta was known, nowadays it is known as Kolkata. Okay, so he was working in Indian Statistic Institute, Calcutta, where he designed the first analog computer, and sometime he is regarded as father of computer in India, okay, by Mathematical Society of Calcutta. Okay, and this particular pointer was asked in SSC CHSL. Okay, so remember the first computer was made in year 1953, and it was designed by Samrendra Kumar Mitra, and he is regarded as father of computer in India. And where did he establish this computer? It is Indian Statistical Institute, Calcutta. Okay, so the next, after 2 years, we have our first digital computer installed. Basically, that digital computer was imported by India. What is the name of computer? It is HEC2M. What is HEC? Holy Earth Electronic Computer Model 2M. Okay, so HEC2M is the first computer which was installed. It is again installed at Indian Statistical Institute, Calcutta, and this pointer was asked in SSC CGL Tier 1. Okay, so if they ask the first analog computer, it is Samrendra Kumar Mitra, where it was established, ISI Kolkata. If you talk about first digital computer installed in India which was imported, the name is HEC2M, and this computer was made by British Tabulating Machine, and it was installed at ISI Kolkata. Okay, so afterwards, in year 1956 and 1965, one major thing happened in the field of computer in India, that is we have first indigenous built digital computer. Okay, previously we have imported from the Britishers, and this time we have made the first digital computer, and the name is TIFRAC. So what is TIFRAC? It is TIFR, that is Tata Institute of Fundamental Research Automatic Computer. Okay, TIFRAC, you should remember the name TIFRAC, and it was during the tenure of Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru, and he focuses on making this program, and the first indigenous digital computer was made. Okay, and the location is TIFR. As I told you, it is Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, Mumbai, and it was operational in 1956 and commissioned in 1960. Okay, sometime he asked the date in the year, so just remember it is operational in year 1956. Okay, coming to the next is the India's first supercomputer. As you know, supercomputer, how it is different from the normal computer, I will tell you in brief that it has high power. High power means it can do lot of calculation in microsecond, nanosecond in fact. Okay, and during this period, that is 1991, the first supercomputer was made, and generally in exam the name was asked. Okay, so just remember the name, it is Param 8000, and Param 8000 is the first supercomputer, and the credit goes to the CDAC. CDAC is one of the organization which does lot of research in computing, and it is one of the institution which have done a lot of computing related things, and they have made the first supercomputer in India. Okay, that is Param 8000 series. And in 1995, the first Indian newspaper was available on the internet, because at that time internet boom was there, and the first newspaper that came into the internet was Hindu. Okay, so Hindu was the first newspaper which was available on the internet, right? So as you can see, this is Tifrak. As you can see, like this is a big machine which is placed in a room, so that is Tifrak. Coming to the fathers, we have made already a separate class on that, but we are going to show you the few important fathers in the computer arena. Okay, the first one is the father of computer, and you should remember it is Charles Babbage. And what he does, we have seen in the historical development of computer class, that he has made first analytical engine. Okay, so that become the basis of all the computer which proceed in the later generations. Okay, so this question was asked in many exam, in fact, starting from SSC to PSI. And coming to the father of modern computer, if you ask, it is Alan Turing. Okay, so Alan Turing is known as father of modern computer. And if you talk about father of computer in India, it is Samrendra Kumar Mitra, that is father of computer in India, and this pointer was asked in SSC CHSL. Why he is known as father of computer in India? Because he had designed the first analog computer in year 1953 that we have seen. Okay, so these three fathers you should remember for the introduction to class. There are many other fathers who have done lot of things in the computer arena. We have made a separate class on that topic, so you can just watch that. Okay, coming to the father of supercomputer in India, it is Dr. Vijay Padurang Bhatkar, which is basically the person who is involved in developing the first supercomputer, that is Param 8000. Okay, so Dr. Vijay Padurang Bhatkar is known as father of supercomputer in India. So now let's see the characteristic of computer. What are the features of the computer, how it makes the life easy, how it is different from the other devices, why it is so popular, and how it has changed our life. Okay, so the first characteristic is the speed. Okay, so you know that a machine can do a lot of things faster than human being. Okay, so whatever the task we can do in seconds, okay, the computer can do much more faster because it is a machine. Okay, so basically the speed is a characteristic which makes a computer to itself its definition. Okay, so speed is the one most important characteristic because it can do task in nanosecond, microsecond. Okay, faster than the human being. Okay, the next characteristic is the accuracy. As you know, human can be inaccurate, but the computer cannot beat the human. Okay, what I mean to say that accuracy is one thing, but it acts on the principle GIGO, that is garbage in, garbage out. Okay, so because it has no intelligence in it right now, so whatever the input you are giving, it is going to take that input and process it, and it gives the output. So that is known as GIGO principle. That is, if you give the garbage input, it will give the garbage output. Okay, but if you consider human being are not like that. Okay, if you give some wrong input, human can easily tell that this input is wrong. Okay, whereas computer basically does not identify what is right, what is wrong. If it is garbage, it is going to produce the garbage output. And what do I mean by the accuracy? Accuracy means whatever the result you are expecting, you will get the actual result from the computer. Okay, third is the automatic. As a machine become automatic, which is going to do the task itself, it needs no human intervention. That is one characteristic which separate from the human. Okay, and versatile, as human is also versatile, but we have a limited capacity to do that. But computer is a versatile which can do many types of jobs simultaneously. Okay, we can also do simultaneously, but our limit is very less. Whereas if you talk about computer, it can do lot of things simultaneously. So it is versatile. Okay, so versatile, the word mean that it can do multiple jobs simultaneously. The next one is diligence. Diligence means it never get bored. Like as a human being, we get bored after some time, but machine can never get bored. So computer has the characteristic it never get bored. You can make it on for several hours, for several years, it will never get bored. Okay. Next is the storage capacity. Like as a human being, we have also storage capacity, but our storage capacity is limited because we are the human, we are the living person, living beings, whereas it is a machine which stores a huge amount of data. Okay, so storage capacity is also one characteristic which differentiate from the human. Okay, so the next is the component of general purpose computer. So there are basically two components. First is hardware and the software. Okay, so these are the two components of the general purpose computer. So hardware, what do I mean by hardware? Which are the physical component of computer. Okay, physical means which you can see, touch and feel. Basically that word is called tangible. Okay, hardware are tangible in nature, means you can touch it. For example, you can touch the mouse, you can touch the keyboard, you can touch the monitor. Okay, so all such things are hardware. Okay, the next component is the software, which are basically a set of instructions or program which is used to operate the computer, and these are generally intangible, which cannot be felt. Okay, so you can think like that our body is hardware, we can touch it, we can feel it, but whatever inside in our mind that we cannot touch, we can only feel. Okay, so in that way it is intangible in nature. So software are intangible, whereas hardwares are tangible. Okay, And software can be anything, like it can be OS, it can be MS Word, PowerPoint, anything. Okay, so these are the basic two component of the general purpose computer. Let's see the other facts. And the first fact is that the World Literacy Day. Okay, you will be surprised to know that this World Computer Literacy was started by an Indian company, that is NIIT, that is National Institute of Information Technology. When their 20th anniversary was there in year 2001, okay, they made that day, that is World Computer Literacy Day, which is their foundation day in fact. Okay, so 2nd December is the World Computer Literacy Day. Okay, their main aim was to that in all the person who belongs to the world have the computer literacy. Okay, and this initiative was started by Indian company on their 20th anniversary in year 2001. Okay, and you just remember, as I told you, that a person is called computer literate if he is able to run the based application. Okay, if he or she just able to run the application, okay, computer application. Okay, so this pointer was asked in RRB NTPC, and if the computer is able to handle or run the application on the computer, he is computer literate. Okay, whether he is educated or not educated doesn't mean. If he is able to do the task as per the application, he is computer literate. And the first computer literate district is Mallapuram. Just remember, it is in Kerala, and it was made in year 2004. So in 2004, the first computer literate district was declared. Okay, Mallapuram. Just remember the name. Afterward, if you talk about 100% fully literate panchayat. Okay, literate panchayat is Pullampara Panchayat, again in Kerala, and this pointer was asked in SSC CHSL. Okay, I repeat once again, World Computer Literacy Day on 2nd December. A person is called computer literate if he is able to run the application on the computer. And the first computer literate district, it is Mallapuram in Kerala, whereas the first 100% digital literate panchayat is Pullampara Panchayat in Kerala. Okay, and if you talk about the first digital literate state, it is Kerala. So Kerala has lead in the computer literacy. Okay,